Welcome to our channels that is full of latest Nollywood and Hollywood gist and celebrities. Alright, before we proceeded on our gist, hit the subscribe button and turn up the notification button for more interesting gist. Okay, on the first list, one of our favorite actress Pearl Watt recently took to social media to clear up some confusion regarding her relationship with Maurice Sam, reassuring her fans that all was well between them. There had been some whispers online about problems between the two, mostly fueled by a lack of public displays of affection or the usual social media posts. But Pearl was quick to set the record straight, stating that the rumors were nothing more than a misunderstanding. She wanted to make it clear that their relationship was solid and that there was no need for anyone to worry. She explained that social media can often lead to people jumping to conclusions too quickly. It's easy for misunderstandings to snowball, especially when people think they know what's going on behind the scenes just by looking at a few posts or pictures. Pearl knows this all too well. She wants her fans to understand that while public curiosity is natural, not everything they see online is the full story. She hoped that by addressing the issue head-on, she could put those rumors to rest and give everyone peace of mind. One of the main things that had sparked the rumors was the absence of the usual Christmas gift exchange between Pearl and Maurice Sam. Every year, Pearl would share their festive celebrations on her social media, but this year, things were different. Fans noticed that Maurice wasn't featured in any of her posts, and the holiday season passed without the usual public display of love. This led many to question whether everything was okay between the couple. Pearl wanted to clear that up too. She explained that her decision not to showcase the gift exchange was entirely personal. She chose not to share this particular moment because some things, in her opinion, are better kept private. It wasn't about hiding anything, rather, it was about protecting the intimacy of their relationship. She emphasized that not every moment needs to be shared with the world, and sometimes, keeping a little mystery is for the best. After all, not everything needs to be put on display for public consumption. In her post, Pearl also touched on the pressure that comes with being a public figure. When you're constantly in the spotlight, there's an unspoken expectation to share every detail of your life. People want to know everything, from what you're eating for breakfast to where you're going on vacation. But Pearl made it clear that this constant pressure to share every little thing isn't always healthy. Sometimes, she just needs a break from the spotlight and the constant need for validation through likes and comments. Taking a step back from social media wasn't about hiding her relationship or pretending that everything was perfect. Instead, it was about taking care of her mental health and creating a little space for herself away from the constant noise of online life. Pearl recognized how easy it is to get caught up in the online world and how exhausting it can be when you feel the need to explain every decision to the public. Sometimes, it's just easier to live your life without having to explain yourself at every turn. Pearl also acknowledged the reality of how social media amplifies the smallest of actions into huge controversies. If she didn't post about a gift exchange or a vacation, people would start making up their own stories. It's like one small omission can lead to a flood of rumors and assumptions. Pearl knew this firsthand and understood that she couldn't control how people would interpret her actions, but she could control whether or not she contributed to the noise. The absence of public appearances with Maurice Sam over the holiday season further fueled speculation. Some fans were confused because they didn't see them together on a holiday trip or celebrating Christmas publicly. But Pearl was quick to reassure everyone that the lack of shared moments on social media didn't mean there were problems in their relationship. Just because they weren't posting about their holiday adventures didn't mean they weren't enjoying their time together. It was simply a conscious decision to keep some moments private, just like anyone would in a relationship where both people value their personal space. Pearl emphasized that this decision wasn't a reflection of any issues between her and Maurice Sam. Rather, it was a choice they made to maintain some privacy in an age where everything is shared. Sometimes, personal moments are best kept between the people involved, without feeling the need to broadcast every detail to the world. Pearl also pointed out that relationships don't need to be validated by public displays, and just because something isn't shown online doesn't mean it's not happening in real life. She also touched on the broader pressure that public figures face to live up to people's expectations. There's this constant demand for transparency, and social media often holds up a magnifying glass to every decision you make. For Pearl, this can feel like a double-edged sword. On one hand, she loves connecting with her fans, but on the other hand, there's a lot of weight in constantly having to share and explain every part of her life. She made it clear that while she enjoys her fanbase, she also cherishes her privacy, and that's something she wasn't willing to compromise for the sake of keeping up appearances. Pearl also took the opportunity to highlight how quickly people are willing to make assumptions based on limited information. A lack of a public gift exchange or an unseen holiday vacation might seem like a small thing, but it can easily turn into a big issue when people start speculating. She shared her frustration with how quickly things can spiral out of control online. In her view, it's often better to stay quiet and not add fuel to the fire, especially when people are so quick to judge without knowing the full picture. By keeping certain things private, Pearl felt she could maintain some control over her own life. She acknowledged that the decision to stay low-key could sometimes lead to more questions and rumors, but she was willing to face that in exchange for the peace and clarity that came with not sharing every moment. She realized that privacy isn't just about protecting your personal life, it's about protecting your mental well-being too. Everyone, public figure or not, deserves the right to decide what they want to share with the world. At the heart of her message was a simple yet powerful idea: just because something isn't shared on social media doesn't mean it's not real or important. Pearl made it clear that her relationship with Maurice Sam was intact, and they were doing just fine. She wanted to remind her fans that not everything needs to be publicized, and they should be cautious about jumping to conclusions based on what they see online. She valued her personal space and hoped that others would respect her need for privacy. As she wrapped up her message, Pearl reiterated that the absence of shared gifts or public holidays together wasn't an indication of trouble in her relationship. It was a conscious choice to avoid unnecessary drama and to protect what was most important to her, her peace of mind. By keeping certain moments private, she hoped to avoid fueling gossip or misunderstandings. Pearl made it clear that just because she chose not to showcase every part of her life didn't mean anything had changed behind the scenes. Her bond with Maurice Sam remained as strong as ever. In the end, Pearl's message was clear: don't believe everything you see on social media. Just because she wasn't sharing every single detail of her life with the world didn't mean there was anything wrong. She valued her privacy, and as a public figure, that was something she was entitled to protect. It was a powerful reminder that sometimes, living your life on your own terms is the best way to avoid the chaos of online speculation.